Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TinyBlueGames. My name, of course, is Seesaw or Chris, and today we're talking about MapleStory M, or MapleStory Mobile if you prefer, in 2019. Now, this is a video that I've wanted to do for quite a while. For those of you who don't know, on my main channel, TinyBlueGames, I cover a fair bit of MMOs, and specifically, I talk a fair bit about MapleStory. It was my first MMO, and it'll always sort of hold a very special place in my heart. And because of that, I've wanted to cover this game for quite a while. It obviously also makes sense with this channel that's more focused on mobile games, so here we are. Now, the game itself is quite good. There's a few positive things and a few negative things I'd like to talk about. We'll probably start with the positive and then work our way to the negative side of things, and then have a little conclusion discussion about the game. But let's get to the positive first and sort of get to it. Before I start though, in the background you'll be watching footage of me playing the game. I played it on my Pixel 3 Android device. I recorded it on my phone and sent the video to my computer to make the video, so this is the actual footage of me playing. This is the quality of me playing. It runs quite smoothly, so there's that. And I'm playing as a Night Lord because I recently did a Night Lord video in MapleStory, and I wanted the closest sort of comparison between the two of them that I could get. So yeah, there we go. But without further ado, let's get into the good aspects of the game. And I think the first of that is that I think MapleStory, as a side-scrolling 2D MMO, is actually very well fitted to be a mobile game. A lot of mobile games, specifically MMORPGs, developers kind of just see a lot of money in the mobile world, and they're like, hey, we can port our game to this. And sometimes it works, but oftentimes it really doesn't. Best case scenario, you have games like old school RuneScape, which I actually think plays better on a mobile device than it does on a computer. That's the first video we covered, and I'm sure I'll put a link somewhere around here for you to go check that out if you haven't. But then you have games that are more the World of Warcraft type, the more raiding and stuff like that, that don't play as well, or you have sort of very high-paced action combat games that sometimes don't feel as good with the controls either. So I think the side-scrolling really makes it so that it's just got the two dimensions, obviously, and I think that makes a lot more sense with the mobile device. I'm usually a big fan of 2D games on mobile devices anyway, so maybe I'm a little bit biased because of that, but I think it really does work quite well. In terms of the control of the game, I felt that the movement was quite enjoyable. You definitely can sort of combo some attacks with it, and it feels pretty good. And it does give you the ability to feel like you can really control your character, and for instance, if you're fighting a boss or something like that, you do feel like you can actually sort of jump over the boss and avoid some attacks and stuff like that. So it does give enough range for you to be able to move around pretty well. Now, the actual gameplay, I felt that it was somewhere between new MapleStory and pre-BigBang MapleStory. Like, I actually felt like I was leveling slower than I would in regular MapleStory, which was very interesting. I'm sure part of this had to do with the fact that I was playing completely free. Everything you're seeing here in this video, any kind of quality of life item that I end up using, or 2x XP card or anything like that, is all free items that you get for like daily logins or daily rewards of different types. So I haven't paid any money into this game or anything like that. There is tons of opportunity for you to do that, and we'll talk about that in a second in the negative area. But for the time being, I have not put any money into the game, and typically I never will in a mobile game. And I think that's a very big part of if you're going to enjoy a mobile game. I take mobile games very casually. There's something I think are just fun to do while I'm watching TV or something like that. But when I want to competitively raid or competitively level, I end up going to my PC. And with that in mind, I don't get overly bent out of shape when, you can pay a fair bit of money for a lot of convenience. I do think it ruins the fun of the game when it is purely pay to win. But I'm okay with, mobile games having a little bit more aggressive pay scheme since I do take it casually. Obviously, if you're taking, the mobile game as your primary game, you definitely want to find a game that is as little pay to win as possible. And then it comes down to what your definition of pay to win is. I always find it funny that a lot of people are okay with all these games that you can convert, money into gold and then buy gear. It's kind of a pay to win system with a lot of these games. It's what you determine to be pay to win or not. But anyways, that's a very side tangent piece, and I'm not pro pay to win, to get that straight. I'm just saying, it's good to take these games a little bit more casually, and I think you'll enjoy them a lot more. But yeah, with that said, I've only used free items that I got either as sort of promotional stuff or for logging back into my account or something like that. So it is sped up a little bit in different places, but I am mostly just questing with the baseline XP, and I found it actually pretty refreshingly slow. I say that because I actually find regular MapleStory to be a bit too quick. I think you, in regular MapleStory, sort of blast through Victoria Island, Obris, Ludibrium, all the really fun, nostalgic monsters. I end up seeing them like for a very brief period of time, and then I'm into these very new MapleStory areas, and yes, they're exciting, yes, they're fun, but it's those classic monsters that I want to spend time with, and I felt this game really did a good job of doing that. In terms of other content, you have questing, which is mostly what I do to level. It might definitely not be the most optimal way to level. I should mention that this is a sort of new player perspective. I'm definitely not an expert. But you have dungeons, you have sort of just bosses you can kill. You've got different party quests of sorts. And then you have also the dojo and expeditions. And expeditions are kind of one of the more exciting things because it really promotes sort of the group content back into MapleStory. And they do a different system where you can only join the expeditions at very specific times throughout the day. And it kind of funnels people together, which is very interesting. Obviously, based on the level of my gameplay, I haven't gotten into them. I've more just watched them on other videos. So I'll have to make a video myself when I am able to participate in them and see how they do play. But from a concept point of view, I think they're quite cool. They've also focused on some very iconic monsters such as Zachem and Pink Bean and Papulatus. Actually, Papulatus I don't think is a expedition. I think it's just a boss you can kill eventually. So I might have that one wrong. And for my final positive comment, actually, and there's more positive about the game, but the Monster Carnival quest, like party quest, is in this game. It's not in regular MapleStory, but it's somehow in this game. And I kid you not, I have like my email sent to the MapleStory newsletter, and I was just browsing my emails and I saw Monster Carnival is back, and I freaked out. I thought it was on the regular MapleStory. I was like loading back in. I was so pumped, and I saw it was in MapleStory Mobile, and that was actually pretty much the main push that had me try this game. I was like, I need to try this. It is weirdly like one of the highest level pieces of content. You can only do it at level 100. So it's not in this video, but there will be a separate video with my gameplay and me discussing how awesome, or hopefully not, but not awesome it ends up being. We'll find out when we get there. But yeah, so those are the positives. Negative wise, I talked about the idea of it being pay to win. And yes, you can pay the money, you can win. But what are you, like, it's not a PvP game. MapleStory is all about, identifying challenge, and if you play it casually enough, if you set goals with limitations of not using real world money, you can have plenty of fun. So there you go. And then it's got the regular mobile game destroyer autoplay. I don't know why mobile games need autoplay. It's not fun. It's not as bad in MapleStory M as some games, in my opinion. And I actually find it very convenient to get to and from different quests. But in terms of actual grinding and stuff like that, it really lessens the impact the player has on the game, and I just don't enjoy it. I think it takes away from what the game offers. But those are my opinions. Overall, I think the game is worth giving a try. I've talked about this a few times throughout the video, but treat a mobile game as a mobile game, and you're gonna have a fun time. Just play it casually. If it is gonna be your main game, take the extra time and find a game that you're okay with, that you don't think is pay to win, that you don't think is too much over autoplay or anything like that. But as a casual game, as someone who loves MapleStory, I'd say give this a go. But yeah, share your comments in the section below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you have another mobile game that you would like me to look at, I'd be very excited to check it out. I'm always in the market for some new stuff. If not, anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.